What up, world? Today I'm gonna give you a quick video about a crazy video that I saw the other day. It was a video about sovereignty and how you can go to court and claim you're a sovereign citizen, and these people can't deal with you because they don't have jurisdiction in the rights. It's a wild video. I'm talking about it threw me off. Messed my head up because I can't believe some people are crazy enough to actually try this stuff. So I'm gonna give you a backdrop before I actually get to this whole sovereignty stuff and about going to court without a lawyer type stuff. I'm gonna give you an idea of what we're actually up against. But let me give you a little backdrop real quick. This is my guy Du Bois. You probably heard of him from his works like this, The Souls of Black Folk. This is a cool book, decent book, but it's not his greatest works. I mess with this book. This book came out in 1915. And in his book, he talks about slavery and how the Negro is still enslaved. And he says the Negro is still enslaved to this day. He suffered from an even greater form of slavery. He's subject to peonage and indebtedness. 1915 now. We can move up to the 1910s, the 1920s. Marcus Garvey. He said the Negro is still enslaved. He suffers from peonage and bondage. We can go to the 1930s. And to give you a brief breakdown of what peonage is, we could go to page, I think it's 21. 21. So read this, pause the video and read this paragraph right here. Start where it says, remember that although it was abolished in America 70 years ago, that it survives as peonage in the United States today. Certain American states sell their prisoners to business concerns and pocket the money. And in order to get this revenue, minor social misdemeanors of Negroes are magnified into offenses drawing heavy fine and imprisonment. Peonage in America is not only more harsh than slavery in Arabia and Ethiopia, but there is far less economic justification for it. This is 1930. This book came out, I think, 1932. But you can fast forward to the 21st century. In his book, he talks about the re-enslavement of Black Americans from the Civil War to World War II. Keep in mind, nobody paid attention to my guy, 1915, 1920s, 1930s. But when this guy came out in the 21st century, it's a national bestseller. And I don't know where you grew up, but where I grew up, this was a common sight. We used to visit my grandmother's house in, let's say, the 1990s. We used to go down to Mississippi and visit my grandmother's house. And we would see these guys in their green and white suits, all up and down the highway, swinging up picks, building the highway. This is what I grew up seeing. I showed you those books because I just turned 29 a few weeks ago. And I can't name a single person, a male figure that I know, any males, that haven't been to jail. They even get the women too. My sister been to prison. But I can't name a single dude that I know in my life that I ever met that hasn't been to jail. Not one. Not a single one. And I just turned 29. And then for me to get on the internet and watch a video and hear somebody say, oh man, you don't need a lawyer, you sovereign, you can be sovereign. Man, that's the craziest shit I ever heard. To make this hit even more hard or make it hit even home to you, it's not just us here in Black America or South America or the Caribbean. It's happening all over the world, even in Africa. To understand that book, you have to read, my guy, for none. But it's happening all over the world. And for somebody to sit back and say, man, you sovereign, you don't need no lawyer when you go to court. Man, that's the craziest shit I ever heard. So, in this next clip, I got a video of a girl who claims she Moorish American and that she's sovereign. And I'm going to show you exactly what happened to this lady who talking this sovereign shit. So watch this little clip.
From WATM TV in high definition, you're watching Local 24 News at 5.
Good evening to you. I'm Cameron Harper. Memphis's most famous sovereign citizen was back inside a Shelby County courtroom today, challenging the legal system the entire time. Tabatha Gentry, or as she calls herself, Abka Ray Bay, is best known for squatting in this multi-million-dollar East Memphis mansion more than a year ago. Today, Gentry was set to be sentenced for assaulting 2 police officers in 2012. Shelley Orman's live in our control room with tonight's top story. And Shelley, even though it looked like she had a way to stay out of jail in this thing, she didn't do anything to help herself with all this chaos in court today.
Cameron, Tabatha Gentry is facing up to 14 years in jail. Today, the judge advised her she is eligible for diversion. If she stays out of trouble, the charges go away. Gentry did not want to hear a word of it.
Good morning, Ms. Gentry.
Tabatha Gentry walked into court with a big smile on her face. A short 4 minutes later, she stormed out of it in a huff after insulting the judge, denying her attorney's existence, and saying she did not care about going to jail.
I've showed this to your attorney.
I do not have an attorney. I present myself in all matters.
Right.
I have not hired him, and he's not my attorney. I present myself.
Well, I've showed this to the person that I appointed to represent you.
Against violating my constitutional rights.
Gentry classifies herself as a member of the Moorish National Republic and says U.S. laws do not apply to her. She tried filing her own court documents.
Whatever it is, I can't figure it out.
It's a legal document.
I suppose.
There was a paperwork issue with her sentencing today, so it's been delayed 3 weeks. She is facing 2 counts of aggravated assault for reportedly hitting 2 police officers in 2012 after taking off from a traffic stop.
You're a magistrate. You're not even a lawful judge. You're a magistrate. You do not have judicial authority.
Okay. Well, some people think I do.
Yeah, they may think you do. That's the problem. You trick people to thinking that you do when you don't.
The judge told Gentry instead of spending up to 14 years in jail, she could get diversion.
And if you behave yourself while you're on diversion, you can have it erased. So,
I do not wish to be on diversion or anything. You have no authority. You're supposed to dismiss this if you do not have the proper authority. You do not have jurisdiction, and you know this.
well, I disagree.
Asked to comment on her actions in court today, her attorney could only shake his head.
No. Opinions, no.
Gentry will be back before the judge to continue this matter on June 18th. Live in the control room, Shelley Orman, Local 24 News.
Now, what do you think happened to her since she's sovereign? What do you think happened? They gave her some football numbers, some real deal football numbers. So numbers that you hear, you thinking the judge talking another language. But you see what we up against. You see what we up against. Ain't nothing changed. It's like you might not see these people now. They just evolve. They in prison making clothes, printing up license plates and stuff. Ain't nothing changed. And for somebody to tell you that, oh man, you don't need a lawyer. Man, you need to end that conversation real quick, or you gonna get them football numbers real quick. Only time that you don't need a lawyer is if you got a seatbelt ticket or a no insurance ticket. Any other time that you're in court, and I don't care what it's for, man, get you a lawyer. Yeah, you're going to spend a little money. You're going to have to. You might even have to pay your little deposit and pay monthly. But get you a lawyer, man. Don't let nobody tell you, man, don't get a lawyer, man. You'll be all right, bro. You'll be good. If you get caught with a little sack, man, a lawyer can make that disappear. If you get caught with some major, some little, or some other stuff, a lawyer can make that disappear. But if you go on there, say my homie got caught with a little sack. His foolish ass showed up in court with no lawyer. They hit his ass with 6 months. 6 months off a little sack. But you don't need a lawyer. Okay. You can be crazy if you want to. They're going to show you how really real this world is. Also, you got to understand how to play the game. That's why your lawyer tell you to dress a certain way and respond a certain way. Because the judge and the DA going to paint a picture on you. Try to make you out to be the worst person possible. They're going to be talking about stuff that ain't got nothing to do with your case. Talk about how your friends you used to hang around with 6-7 years ago, how they no good. And that must make you no good. So they're going to paint a picture on you. And they're going to judge you more than they judge the facts of any case. It's all about you first. So if you come in there looking crazy and talking crazy, talking about, oh, I'm representing myself. I don't need no lawyer. It's against the Constitution. You don't have jurisdiction. Man, you piling on yourself.
About Memphis's most famous sovereign citizen, a judge sentenced Tabatha Gentry to 20 years behind bars today in court. Gentry was found guilty last month of squatting in a vacant multi-million-dollar East Memphis mansion back in 2013. She's already serving a 14-year sentence for assaulting 2 police officers back in 2012. Gentry classifies herself as a member of the Moorish National Republic, and she claims that U.S. laws don't apply to her. She is well known for her court antics, and as Local 24's Brad Broders reports, today, well, was no different.
Tabatha Gentry spoke out of turn, told the judge he didn't have authority, and finished on the losing end of the law as her sentence was added on, not joined together, meaning she'll be spending more time behind bars.
May God have mercy on this soul.
Tabatha Gentry left court Wednesday after a morning filled with smirks, interruptions, and declarations.
Everyone in here are committing perjury and treason against the Constitution and the oaths, all you public servants.
Judge Jimmy Lamey sentenced Gentry to 20 years in prison after she was convicted last month of theft of property over $250,000 and aggravated burglary. Gentry squatted and chained the gate of an East Memphis mansion for weeks in 2013, claiming it was okay because she was not bound by laws of the United States.
She's pretty certain of what she wants to say and when she wants to say it, and nothing stands in her way when she does.
The sentence will be served in addition to Gentry's existing 14-year sentence for aggravated assault of 2 police officers after authorities said she tried to run over one of them in her car in 2012.
Now you see what we up against. You seen it. Now you skip your hep ass down to the courthouse with your feds on and see what happened. Talking about you don't need a lawyer. All they gonna do is label your ass as crazy and give you a lawyer. And you know what happens if they give your ass a public defender. You know what happened. It ain't nothing but a long trip.